gonna really come to me, ask me to move out because you just found out that you're 7 months pregnant.
Right.
Let's start at the 7
Yeah.
months. That is wild.
Yeah.
7 months?
Not only that, it sounds like to me you chose poorly because he ain't got nowhere to stay. Where he
Baby
staying?
daddy don't have nowhere to
He
stay.
got to move in with y'all. He probably the boy still living at home.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do. I'm your host, Kainisha, also known as Nisha G, and I'm here with my husband.
From beginning to end,
This is when I take my water
365
break and
years
then
of
he'll
the year.
introduce himself.
I need your same old loving, baby. Molito.
Molito?
All I wanna do is keep on loving you. We love Anita Baker in this house.
Anita Bacon?
I said Anita Baker.
No, you did say Anita Bacon.
I said
You said Anita Bacon.
I said Anita Baker.
Quite confident you said Anita Bacon.
We'll run it back.
But yes, we will run it back,
And I'm
and
not
then
gonna
you're
cut this
gonna
out.
run me my money.
We're not doing that.
Run me.
Hey, Booskies.
Hi, babe.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm Gucci.
I'm better now because it's one of my favorite days of recording.
What is that?
It's the Our 2 Cent episode,
You
which
just
is
like
my
getting in
favorite.
some mess.
No, I don't. You do.
You love keeping your toes
You
in the
do.
shit.
What?
You gonna be knee deep in
What
this
even
shit.
was that?
It's a saying.
Mm,
Don't act like you ain't country. Oh, you not country. You're a city girl.
mm. Anyway, how was your week?
It was productive.
Okay. Explain.
I got a lot of things done.
Things that you wanted to get done?
No,
Oh,
but I
okay.
got done.
Because I was in my mind, I'm really trying to rack my brain. Like, what did you get done this week?
I finished a lot of things in my other ventures.
Yes.
I really, and I got a lot of things coming up I'm preparing for. So I put the groundwork down on a lot of things. I had to father this week a little harder than I wanted
I
to.
had to father this week.
A little harder than I wanted to, because she's getting to that testy age. And these eyes and these necks is rolling and snapping. And I'm about to be rolling
The
and
way
snapping.
these eyes and these
And
these necks.
And
Yeah.
these
And
feet,
these shoulders.
these feet stumping,
Yeah.
hands snapping.
The arm folding.
Oh yeah.
It's so new.
But we finna iron this shit out real quick.
But we also made a great discovery this week.
Yeah, what was that? What we discovered?
Discovered that we're raising my child.
We're raising
me
you.
as a child.
We're raising you.
We're raising me.
And it makes a lot of sense because a lot of things I was not this way. And I knew I wasn't crazy. And then the fact that your sister confirmed it, I
Yeah.
said, this is what I'm dealing with.
My sister and I were talking about it today because I was talking to her about just some of Phoenix's behaviors, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She was like, "That's you." She was like, "That's exactly how you were when you were her age."
It is rough.
And I was like, I told Maurice, yes, it is me. Like, she said something, I can't remember exactly what she had said. But when she said it, I don't know why, it just connected in my brain, and it immediately took me back
she said
to
that
when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, "Oh no, that's me."
she said something along the lines of when we tell her to like go to her room or sleep in her room, be by herself, she feels like we don't love her and
Mhm.
that she's not a part.
A
Something
part
about
of the family,
yeah, something like
yeah.
she
But
was,
she's like,
and it worked
she
on you.
well, because I never want my kid to feel like I'm pushing her away in any way,
It
shape, or form.
worked
But I
great
know,
on
I
you.
also know that children are like master manipulators by nature
It worked on
to
you.
get what they want. But when oh no, I remember now what she had said. She goes, "Mom, I just feel like sometimes I'm broken to you." And I was like, "What?" And I
Aw.
was like, "Why do you
Take your
feel?"
ass to sleep.
I said, "Why do you feel that way?" And she was like, "Because sometimes I think you get mad at me." And I was like, I was like, "Phoenix, I'm not mad right now." I was annoyed.
A turd.
I told her I was annoyed. I was like, I was annoyed
Mhm.
because I was trying to help you. and you weren't like receiving the help. You were asking me for the help. I was trying to help you, and all you wanted to do was throw a fit. And how is
Mhm.
mommy supposed to help you when you're throwing a fit and you're not talking to me?" And she was like, "I know." And I said, "I just wanted to help you." And then she goes, "I appreciate your help."
Mm. Does she?
I was like,
Does she appreciate to
she
help people?
does, she does. So when she said that, literally, it just, like, all connected in my head, and I was like, "That is me."
You
I
know,
was
I
like,
just thought
I was so, like, sensitive. It didn't take much to hurt my feelings, and I just immediately went to, like, the world can't stand me because
that's
somebody was
dramatic.
upset with it is dramatic, but I
She's
remember it
around here
vividly.
accusing me of being dramatic when she's the dramatic one. My dad is so dramatic. I can say that. I can say
That's what she
that.
told her friend. She's like, "My dad is so dramatic, but I can say that word, so it's okay."
I just thought about something and it's unrelated,
What?
but you know how she don't like doing the conditioning thing?
Uh
Imma see if I can get her a shirt that say, "If it involves running."
It don't involve me. No, hers need to say froggies because she don't like froggy jumps. Hers need to say, "If it involves froggy jumps, then it don't
My
involve
baby
me."
don't like conditioning. She said, "Look, I'll practice."
She said, "But this whole conditioning portion,
She said
y'all
she said
got
she
me
she said,
messed
"My lungs is
up."
good enough."
But okay, but it's not even the conditioning. Like when I had the conversation with her, she was like, "I just don't like froggy
Yeah,
jumps."
well,
Like when they have to run the mile and stuff, she'll be out there and she'll be in the sun. She'll be running. She'll do lunges
oh,
up the hill. She would, but when it comes to them froggy jumps,
you don't like them?
immediately you can see the distress on her
Oh,
face.
good. That good, good, good. Well,
She,
how was your week, Booskies? 'Cause we
my
know
week was good.
what did you
I
do?
had a good week. I mothered hard. Bye.
And you wore a muumuu 3 days
Um,
in a row.
I did not wear a muumuu 3 days in a
Yes, you
row.
did. I counted
Did I?
because I appreciate it.
Oh, bye. Yeah, I mothered
Can
hard.
I get to the
We had a really
yams?
good, time at friend's house.
Sweet
Goodbye.
yams.
We had a really good time at our
Show
friend's
me
house.
yeah, shout out to the,
Um,
shout out should we name drop 'em? No, I'm not gonna name drop 'em.
do we name drop
No, you
'em?
know,
Uh,
I don't want people to be like, "Oh, you trying" I'm not they good people though. They good people. We had a good time.
they're gonna be on the show, so you
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
you'll be able to see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a really good weekend, hung out, got some adult conversation in, which is
Look
always
here. Well, one thing I know about these stay-at-home moms, they want adult interaction. She
you
be like,
don't
"Look
be
here,
knowing,
take your
like,
daughter home while I stay here and have keep talking, because I
you don't
need
even
because I'm
understand.
tired of talking to kids."
Like, I'm going out with my friend for lunch on
Oh,
Thursday,
I'm booked Thursday.
and I am just like, "Oh, I just can't wait to catch up with my friend and
But I
just."
thought you had to cancel that because of play date.
No, I canceled the play date. I said, "You know what? She goes on 19 million play
Oh,
dates a
man.
year." I canceled the play date because I am going to self-care
Oh,
myself,
you
and
serious, huh?
self-care includes making time for myself,
Oh, you
for
serious.
my friends, to cultivate my relationships with my friends.
Just so you
And
know.
because my friend reached out to me and she was like, "Girl, I miss you. Let's go to lunch. Let me take you to lunch." I was like, "You
Oh,
know
she
what?"
paying?
I was like, "I'm down.
Bring me get some bring me back something.
Goodbye.
Do a little something extra.
Goodbye."
And just so you know, Thursday, since I am on, pickup duty, she will be picked up early. 'Cause I don't I
Just
don't
because he doesn't wanna deal with school traffic. Let me tell y'all, the school traffic makes my husband so angst.
I can't do it.
It's a little comical, but then again, I'm just like, it's a little worrisome.
I can't get
He
it.
gets in that school line and he acts like he don't know how to drive anymore. He acts like it's just like,
It's
spiders everywhere or something. I don't know, but he just loses all ground and common sense when he gets
for
in that line.
someone who does what I do, you would think I'd handle it better,
I would think you handled it better.
but it's just so many moving parts. And
It's
I
because it's the kids?
It's the kids, it's the parents, the administrators, the teachers. Then you got the people leaving work, the people coming from work. You got the people in line trying to pick their kids that don't give a damn about nobody else.
And it doesn't make it better that her school is right across the street from, like, houses, so it's technically in a residential
Well,
area.
all schools are in residential
Well,
areas.
you know what I mean, but it's, like, in a
But
high traffic.
oh, it's very high
It's
traffic.
a very high
And it's on
traffic
the
residential,
corner.
and it's on the corner. So, then you also have the people who get upset who are just trying to come around the traffic to,
Mhm.
get to their homes, and it does get a little chaotic, but you gotta,
I
I told
will
you, you gotta bulldoze your way through just like they
I will
do.
be there at 1 o'clock.
She
Park,
gets out at 2:05. Oh, a
park.
park, yes, I used to do that.
I would get there at
I
1:00,
used to do that.
park.
Mhm.
At 1:45,
You're gonna get out and go sign her out?
Imma go sign her up.
And you know what? She still ain't gonna come out till 2.
It don't matter. At that point, I'm not dealing with the rat race. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's that I didn't realize how good I had it when she was in kinder because the kindergartners get out earlier. They get out like
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes earlier. And I used to use that time to get to her school early for my reading time.
Mhm.
Like, remember when I was like buying all those books and stuff back to back, and I was like trying to make sure I get through my books. So I would go to go to her school at like for an hour, hour and a half before, and
Mhm.
I would sit in the car and get as much reading in
Mhm.
as possible, but I was always the very first one in line because I
Mhm.
would get there so early. And then
Mhm.
they got out 15 minutes before the rest of the
Yeah,
school.
that sounds good.
So it was just, what, 4 classes, 5 classes of kindergartners.
Mhm.
So traffic was I was never in traffic.
Look
And
here,
then
the office
she went
knows.
to regular pop. She went to Gen Pop.
Right.
And when she joined Gen Pop,
Look here, the office knows when they see me, she going home.
yeah. But when she joined Gen Pop, I was like, "I'm not finna sit up here. I'm
It's
not
rough out
waiting up
there,
here." She gets out at 2:05. She's 11 minutes away from the house, and I leave at 2 o'clock.
and it's still crazy.
It is still crazy, but what makes it better, like how you saw earlier today, instead of getting in the line, I go around the line and I go down the middle, and then I get her from the middle of the parking lot,
So
and then I just hop back in line
so you
to
one of the people I talk about.
what, that cut?
Yeah.
Because I technically am not cutting. Because those parents that are in line are parents that sit in their cars. I'm not gonna sit in my car. I throw her in the park real quick. I pop them hazards. I snatch her up, pop her in the car, unpop those hazards, and we out. I got a whole little routine.
What we got today, Booski?
I'm just saying I have a whole routine. I didn't even finish my week, but I guess I'm
You
done.
did finish your
Whatever.
week. You got up to Thursday?
Okay, you got up to Thursday.
I know what you do on Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so as where the theme has been going, it's the beginning of the month. So the
Actually,
beginning
it's
of the
not
month,
the actually, we messed up.
well, it's still technically the beginning
It
of
was
the
supposed
month.
to be
We
last
normally
week.
like, yeah, last week's episode really should have been an hour 2 cents episode, but
You
better
get
late
it
than
when you
never.
get it. You get what you get.
You don't throw a fit. But you
Hey.
guys love the hour 2 cent segment of the show. So we dedicate an entire episode just to reactions, hour 2 cents
To
to
relationship and
relationship.
crazy marriage
And
situations
and we also throw in a little bit of drama because
for
this
your
one
mama.
loves drama.
I am the
He
most
has to have he has to get his fix. He has to get his fix. But just FYI, there's no more drama. There's no better drama than a life after lockup or a love after lockup. We'll get into that on another episode. But yeah, so this is an hour 2 cents episode. So we're gonna get into all of the reactions, see what this guy has to say.
okay. Let's go.
Um
Let's get it.
some of them are new for the both of us.
I mean, so far I'm misogynist. I can't say the word. So far, I'm pretty much the consensus so far, especially on TikTok, is I'm not good for you, and that I'm holding you
He
down.
be getting it on they be going in on him on TikTok. The other lady was like, "I question his perspective and I question his morals." I was like,
So,
"Relax. Like he's a good guy, guys. He's a
no,
good guy."
apparently I have bad morals. I'm a slave driver. I have hindered your career,
Oh my goodness.
and you are wasting your life with me.
No,
That is
they
the
love you.
consensus of the internet.
That's not. They love you. They love you.
From all of this 30 seconds they know about us.
Right. Okay, guys, let's hop right into our 2 cents. We got the first one up right now. Oh, yeah. I want to hear you on this one. Okay. Am I the asshole for cutting the amount I contribute to our budget after my wife refused to stick to our agreement regarding our kids?
Stand on business.
My wife and I agreed before we got married on a lot of things. How we would live, how we would deal with our family, and how we would raise our kids, stuff like that. Deal breakers. One of our decisions was that as long as our kids were full time students, they would not have to contribute monetarily to the household budget. Obviously, they would still have chores and such. If they weren't full time students, they would get a 6 month grace period after which they had to pay rent and buy their own food. Rent would be equal to 1/4 of a full time minimum wage work. We agreed on this in 1998. Wow.
Hmm?
Our eldest did not want to go to university and used the 6 months after graduation to work, save money, and plan a trip around the world. When he got back, he started an apprenticeship and is now a welder. Good for him. Our middle kid went to university and is now a nurse. Our youngest one did 1 semester in college and decided it was not for him, but he also decided that he did not want to work.
It's always the
It's
baby.
always that baby. After 6 months, I told him that he was now responsible for his rent and his food. He went crying to his mom, saying that he couldn't afford it. She said he didn't have to pay it. She didn't discuss it with me first. It was a unilateral decision on her part.
Mm,
She pays all our bills. I give her a set amount of money every month to pay everything. The money she earns, she either spends however she wants or it goes into our vacation fund. So I decided to cut my contribution to the budget by the cost of rent and 1/3 of the grocery bill.
mm,
She asked me why I did that and said that we hadn't agreed to that and that I chose to do that. I told her that she chose to do the same, which was ignore the
mm,
deal.
mm.
She's been paying the difference out of the money that would normally go into the vacation account, and she cut back on her personal spending. So she's basically offsetting
Yeah.
for him. But she's pissed that I'm doing this. She says that I'm an asshole for being financially manipulative.
Oh, are we now?
I think she needs to either accept it or get her poor baby boy to grow up. She tried getting our older kids on her side, but they all agree with me. Am I the asshole?
Not at all.
Absolutely
Not at
not.
all, sir. Stand on business.
Absolutely not. Because
Hold
he
on.
knew he knew what was coming when he turned 16.
He
Before he graduated high
he knew.
school,
Hold on.
he knew what was coming.
Fix your crown, King.
Right. Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. More
Because
go ahead.
I don't know what it is about mothers and their youngest sons.
I mean mothers and sons in general.
She is finna coddle this boy into submission.
What?
She is gonna take if things go her way, she'd take care of him until she died.
Well, that's her baby.
Yeah. But
That's her baby.
but it's also a father's job to teach his son how to be a man. And you
This
gotta
is
be able to
true.
stand on your own 2 feet.
This is
And
true.
you cannot rely on me and your mama to get by.
Right.
And that's the lesson he's trying to teach this child.
And that's love. That's out of love.
They don't see it that way.
Right. Right. And
They
as a mama, I can feel some of that even though I'm not a boy mom.
right.
I can definitely
Well,
feel some of that.
I can tell you right now, my daughter will never have to leave here
Okay.
because
Listen to
because she
I'm
was
gonna tell you right now. My
because she was
daughter will never have to leave
because she
here.
is a young lady
Uh-huh.
and the world is not the same world for her as it would be for her son.
This is true. I do have to
As
agree.
long as she's uh needs
Productive.
productive and needs somewhere to stay, she can stay here. Now, a son, I'm saying, look here, you can stay, but you got to pay
And then he gonna look at his sister and be like, but she ain't gotta pay rent.
because she's doing the right thing. I'm protecting her. That's my job. It's my job to protect her until she's married.
And then when you get out there and you get a woman and get a wife,
You'll understand.
you'll understand.
Now, the second she's married, she cut off because you got a man. When you get your man, or
When you got a man, I'm no longer
or
him.
as she likes to say, my husband.
Her husband. Oh gosh, don't
she get
don't
her
get
hu-
us started.
When she get her husband,
That's what she always says, Mom. When I get my
she
husband,
cut off. But the wife is 100% wrong.
she's in the wrong. You're definitely in the wrong,
Because
Mom.
again, you made a decision by yourself,
Hmm.
which then into him making a decision by himself.
And then you got upset for
And
his
not-
decision.
Right. And not only did your decision break the rules
Yeah.
of what you guys had agreed upon,
Yeah. In 1998.
you did it with like the rules apply to everybody but one. We can't have that.
Right. And then it makes it unfair for the two older kids.
Right. And you're also she doesn't see it this way, but she's undermining
That's
him.
exactly what I was going to say. You undermined your husband in front of your son,
Right.
which will also cause the son to lose respect for his father.
Right. Because
That's what I was getting
and
at.
see,
That's a no-no.
he nicer than me
That's a no-no.
because he just cut the money off.
Right.
He would have came home and been on the goddamn porch. All your shit on the porch.
Right. Right.
You out. If you don't want to
Right.
work, you out. Because you're not finna sit in my house,
Eat my food.
use my internet.
Use my toilet paper.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And you think you just gonna lay around all day and you a grown man?
Right.
That's not how life works.
Right.
And that's the thing. The mom is wrong in every aspect because she's not preparing her child for reality. The reality of it is at the end of the day, he has to be self-sufficient and stand on his own, and if he cannot do that, you are failing him as a parent. And not
I get
and
that.
not only that, you're gonna drive a wedge between you and your other children because they're gonna see this as blatant favoritism.
Well, you're gonna drive a wedge between you and your
Oh,
husband.
that's already there.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. I just want to put this in for conversation's sake. I also believe that all children are different, right? Like all children develop differently.
Okay.
So he's probably that one child who, aside from the other two kids were probably really independent at like 11 or 12. Like you can, I feel like as parents, you can see and look at your child, especially as they get older and they head toward that young adulthood. You can see who's really prepared like for the world and who's really not.
Okay.
So I'm also taking into consideration maybe he is that child that they have who either coasted most of his, early childhood upbringing because he's a young adult, right? So he only did one semester at college. So I'm assuming he's anywhere between 18 and 19, 18 to 20 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's not an excuse, but I'm also saying that you probably have to take that into consideration.
Okay.
No?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
He went out
Okay. So then
he
hold
went
on.
out there. He went out there,
He tried it. No, he tried one semester of
didn't
college.
like it,
Uh-huh. And
said
came home.
said working wasn't to him because it's too hard.
Right.
I'm a
I
little
get what you're saying.
no, get your ass out of my house.
I get what you're saying. And here's the other thing I
Okay.
want to say to
Go ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, just for
Uh-huh.
conversation purposes.
Yeah, okay, mom.
Um, of course. Um, do you think that this whole notion of like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, putting them in a position where it's like instant adulthood is logical? Like, do you think
It's
that
not
there
it
should be some
okay.
do you think that the 6 months that he gave each child is that transitional period?
Yes.
Like
And
that's the grace
I
period. You're
think
18, but you have
but
6
here's the
months.
thing. He's not the plan wasn't to put him out. The plan was you can be here,
Right, you
but you
just
gotta be doing something with yourself.
right.
And
He
you
that's
gotta pay somewhat of your way.
because when you get out there, you're gonna have to pay someone.
Because I guarantee
Right.
you that 1/4 or whatever it was a full-time wage that you had to pay to cover your expenses in that house is a lot cheaper than
Then getting out
if you were
there.
out there by yourself.
Yeah. And I totally agree because the whole point is that when you get out into the real world, you're gonna have to pay somebody.
Somebody.
Somebody. And I think from his perspective, and this is me assuming, the young boy's
Mhm.
perspective, you're my parents and this is my
And I've
home.
done my
So
job.
I should be able just to
No,
like
no,
be here
no,
if I
no,
want
no, no,
to.
no, no, no,
And
no, no,
I
no,
don't agree with
no.
that. I'm just saying
Look
that's
here.
probably what the kid
Look
is
here.
thinking. He's probably
Look
thinking
here.
like, dude, I'm 18 years old. Like, what do you expect me to go out there and do and get a whole career at 18 or 19? But I understand what you're saying
But
because
here's
I
the thing.
agree.
Here's the thing. I am not gonna allow grown men to be in my house,
Mhm.
eat up my food, run
Sit on my toilet.
run my lights up, be under my wife, because that's what you're doing, because I know he getting money from her,
Oh, of
right?
course. How else
While
is he getting money?
while I go out here and work to provide for the home that I provided for you for the
Yeah.
last 18 years.
Yeah.
I've done my part. It is time for you to start your journey as a man.
Mhm.
And then this is why I said
As a young adult.
this is why I said the father is right, because he's not even requiring him to leave.
No, he's
He's
not.
requiring him to just be responsible.
Right.
Start being responsible for yourself.
Right.
That's the lesson in it.
Yeah.
Because who's to say that they don't get a portion of the money back? Maybe the whole thing is that we
They're
just
saving the money he was going to be
maybe
paying to give it back to
maybe
him.
the whole thing is that we just want to see you doing something
Yeah.
with your life
Right.
and not depending
Right.
on us. So, sir, you are not the asshole. Tell your wife she better get her shit together.
Oh, not get her shit together.
Yeah, yeah, get her shit together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I totally agree. I agree.
Because I'm not wrong.
Dad is not wrong. You're not the asshole. He needs to grow up. And mom, especially when you're married and you have children, the last thing and one of the most detrimental things you can do is undermine another parent in their parenting. If
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you didn't agree with or you wanted to change the terms, that's a conversation you should have had with your husband
Mm.
because this is something that you guys have set in place decades ago.
Hmm.
Both of the other two children understood the assignment. They got their shit together.
Right.
The what was it? The firstborn, he didn't want to go to college, I think it was. So he worked.
He worked.
He took his 6 months. He
Left.
worked, he left, he
Came
traveled,
back.
he came back and now he's a welder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great profession.
Good job.
So it's like it's about having a plan, and what it sounds like is that homeboy didn't have a plan after high school, and that he probably just did college or went to college
Mhm,
because that's what was required of him,
mhm.
or because he knew that was the only way that he didn't have to get out there and get a job or do
Right.
anything. Because a lot of parents do that, where if it's like you're in college, you're doing something, you don't I'm not going to require you to pay anything because
You're
you're
doing
trying
something.
to get yourself
Right.
together. You're doing something to put your life
I can
together.
empathize with you.
Exactly.
But if you just on my
But
goddamn couch, I don't give a damn.
Right, but back to the undermining, that's one of the most detrimental things you can do in your relationship, in your marriage, is undermine your other parent. If you had a disagreement, if you didn't agree with him, you should have said, "You know what? Let me talk to your father," but you understand, like, letting him know, reinforcing you and your other brother and sisters also knew what was coming when you graduate high
Mhm,
school, and you know what the rules of this household is. I will
mhm,
talk to your father, but I am not guaranteeing anything because your father has had the conversation with you. You knew what the expectation was.
mhm,
But I mean, just, and it doesn't even have to be a conversation. Like, I'm just saying, if she wanted to have the conversation, she could have just reinforced it right there.
mhm.
Your father's had the conversation with you. There's nothing to talk about, son. You have
Right.
6 months.
And my thing is
That's
that
it. But don't undermine him, because now you break down that connection between your husband and your son, and now your son thinks that you're the one
and
just
that
holds all the cards. So whenever he
right,
needs something, he gonna look at dad and be like, "You ain't
mhm,
running shit. I gotta go talk to my mama
right,
because she big cheese around
right.
here."
And as a
No.
man, you're not finna sit here and move the goalposts for your favorite
Yeah.
and impact me.
Yeah, mom, you were wrong
And
on
that's
that one.
why I like the fact that he said, "Oh, no, I cut back on the budget what he should have been paying. So
Right.
you gonna take you gonna pay for him.
Right.
You gonna pay for him until you tired of paying for him
Because I'm
because
even
I'm
though I'm
not."
cutting back on the budget, I'm still holding to my responsibilities. You got money to pay your bills.
Mhm.
You got money to still do little extra stuff.
Lights still on.
Yeah, I'm holding up my
We still
responsibilities.
eating.
So now guess what? Imma start me a new fund by myself.
Oh man, you had to cancel that hair appointment?
Oh,
You couldn't get your
no.
nails
You
done?
should have told your son to
Man,
go get a
your
job.
car need brakes? Oh
Oh,
man, rough out here.
no, we can't go to Aruba because you
Oh
didn't save
man.
enough?
But you know what? I think your baby boy can get out there and help you.
Shut up. Okay, let's get right into the next one. This one is, my wife wants to name our first child after her late ex.
This has been another episode of What the
Okay.
hell?
My wife and I have our first child coming in 3 months, and our child is a boy. My wife wants to name our child after her ex who passed away 10 years ago. It was a tragic death, and I do feel bad. But I don't want to name our first child after him. I want our child to have his own identity, and I think it is very disrespectful to me. My wife and I have had a lot of discussions on it, and my wife says since she carries the baby and since she is undergoing the difficult process of childbirth, she gets to choose our baby's name. These discussions really frustrate me, and my wife usually comes out on top in these discussions because I just become exasperated and give up. However, last night I sort of snapped and told my wife when my sister was pregnant with twins, she was never as crazy as a wife, and my sister also worked full time when pregnant, unlike my wife. I instantly regretted saying those words, and my wife was shocked and just stopped talking. A couple of minutes later, she started crying really bad. This morning, my wife said she will not name our baby after her ex, but my wife still seems very sad about what I said about her last night. What are your thoughts?
You an asshole for that.
Who is?
The husband.
What, for saying what he said?
For saying what he said.
Oh, hurt people hurt
It
people.
hurt, that's what I'm saying. Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people.
Um, I don't agree with what you said to her,
Mhm.
but I do agree with your stance. Especially if this is your first child as a boy, and you might want your son to have your name.
Mhm.
And I would also say, it seems like even though the man has passed, she has not let go.
Yeah. 'Cause maybe she kinda feels like, oh, well, I don't know if she has other children, but maybe she has a feeling as though if they didn't have kids, she's almost sorta kinda reliving
So she
or
probably,
trying
or
to
she,
fantasize about if this
yeah.
was our child.
Well, if he was still alive, this would be,
Yeah, if
yeah,
right, because my first child was supposed to
yeah.
be with my first husband, and to honor him, I'm gonna name the first child that I have after
But
him.
that is wild.
That is wild.
That
I
is wild.
agree.
And if that
I
was
agree.
your plan, you should have never told your current husband your ex's name. You didn't think that would through.
I don't. think she was thinking about
That's
the
like
future like that.
that's like you trying to name if we have another child, yo, nigga, please.
My ex from the 7th grade?
I don't care where it's from. Anyway, that's wild,
Yeah, and it's disrespectful.
grossly disrespectful.
Because even if you're doing it to honor your late husband, your current husband is here, and
Mm,
that's whose baby it is.
mhm.
So that's disrespectful too.
Look, this is like the
I feel like
3rd
that would
hold
make
on.
me question
This
everything,
is
to
like
be
the 3rd or
honest.
4th time you've come up here with one of these things where they're trying to honor a late spouse.
Okay.
And I cannot fathom people don't understand that while you may have a connection to your late spouse,
Mhm.
he has nothing to do with he or she has nothing to do with your
With your
current
current spouse,
situation.
correct.
And I would always see that as undermining because you know how hurt and disrespected I would feel if you came to me and said I want to name like that would drive a wedge
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would be thinking to myself, What else are you thinking?" Like,
because now I'm gonna have to get petty.
I would also feel as though that I'm just not measuring up to what you thought you had.
That's the too.
You know?
That
But
too.
then again, what if that was the love of her life? Like
Okay.
that, like she loves her husband, her current
Mm,
husband, but she lost her
nah.
late husband and they're
I
only
would
in their 30s.
I
So
would feel that you're with me out of necessity, that you don't really love me
she
because
could very much love him, but
uh,
yes, there is a little bit
I
of
mean,
necessity.
okay, it's out of necessity. You don't want to be here.
But being here out of
You're
necessity
not
doesn't negate that she loves him.
you're not
Are
with
you trying to say that if you're with somebody out of necessity that negates love?
not always, but sometimes it does. Sometimes you just with somebody because they can take care of you.
Okay, but why can't she be with him because he creates a security for her in her life, but she also loves him?
That's possible
Okay. You're saying it's possible, but not likely.
because we still talk about 1999 and we in the 2000s. So you still living your life in your head. You still living your marriage. You still living in like your last marriage, and you're not present in this one because
Okay.
you're gonna discount me so you can have something back in your life from your previous entanglement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would just say that I just think it's disrespectful. And I wouldn't, me personally, I would be thinking, like I'm lacking something,
Mhm.
like you said, like it's convenience that you're with
Mhm.
me. I was just good enough to be with because I could
Mhm.
never compare
In the
to your
moment.
late husband
Yeah.
that you would be willing to even come
Mhm.
to me and ask that we name our firstborn child after your late
After another
spouse.
man.
It's
Wild.
wild. Okay.
You could have threw in like his middle name or something.
I don't
Like
know.
you took the wrong angle.
Okay. Here's one that's a little drama for you.
All this has been drama.
Am I the asshole for refusing to move out even though my roommate is 7 months pregnant?
If you on your lease, then you're not.
Hi, guys. Last week, my roommate Becca found out she is not only pregnant, but 7 months along. What?
That's a long
How
time
you
to
find out at seven?
yeah.
I mean, it happens, but
Okay.
okay.
All right.
She texted me that we had to talk today, and I had assumed that she would be moving out soon for more space when the baby comes. Instead, she told me that I have to move out to make space for the nursery and her baby daddy to move in.
Mm.
Well, she flipped the script.
All the way.
I'm on a terrible salary and cannot afford anywhere else to live. Plus, like, she wants me to move out right now so she can prepare for the baby. Even if I wanted to move out now, the apartment rentals in my area are either too expensive or well below living standards, so I don't want to move. She went absolutely crazy the moment I told her. Because I'm ruining she explained that I'm ruining her motherhood experience by not letting her family live together. I pay rent here and my name is on the lease until at least the end of the year. I'm not going to pull out of the lease, and I told her that if she wants her little family together, that she should her little family, that she should move and I'll find someone to pay half the rent here. That made her start crying and saying how I just wanted to ruin her life to the point her baby daddy had to console her and tell me to get out of their way already. I've heard her stop crying since, but I think I'm totally valid that I don't want to leave. Am I the asshole for not wanting to move out? No,
Not at all.
not at all. Because for one, let me mind you something.
Why you
She's
gotta mind me?
well, not mind you, but I'm just saying,
What did I
she's
do?
obviously having a baby for someone who is either
Unexpected.
barely supporting themselves or can't support themselves at all.
Mm.
Because the fact that the baby daddy is coming in talking about you just need to leave and let us live our life. Why you not coming in and saying, let me go set something up for you and our child? I need you to have that conversation with your roommate that you'll be leaving in 6 months or you'll be leaving in a couple of weeks so that you can come to our home so that we could be together
Mm.
and start our family. That
Mhm.
sounds ass backwards. So if I was the roommate, I'm gonna let you know, baby girl, I'm on this lease until the end of the year. I'm not going anywhere.
Miss, you are
I'm not going anywheres.
Miss,
You and
you
baby daddy gonna be up in that bedroom.
Miss, you are legally obligated to maintain the same space you maintain now.
Yeah,
So you can tell your roommate and her little family
and her little family.
that they figure it out.
You're gonna have to figure that out, boo. I don't mind. Like if you guys want to use up some of the living room space, that's fine too. But
I'd
you,
be
the baby, and your baby daddy
su
gonna be in y'all bedroom, and y'all gonna be living
Oh
out of
my
a
god.
2 bedroom, 1 bedroom apartment. I don't know what to tell you.
I'll be super
I
petty.
wish you well.
I'll be super petty. Like the baby born
I would
on
go renew it too. Like just put my name on it and be
like
like,
the baby born on Tuesday, I'm throwing a party on Thursday.
goodbye,
We there
Reese.
all night.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Then I'm going down there, I'm filing a restraining order on the baby daddy so he can't be there
Right.
because this is my legal address.
This is my legal address. He don't live here because you can't put him on the lease.
Okay?
You probably can't put him on the
And you
lease.
can't take me off,
And you can't take me off the
but you can
lease.
take yourself
So
off.
he can't live here. So if I really wanted to be petty, I could report that and be like, he
That
don't
is
live here.
that is wild to
He
me.
don't live here.
It's a wild situation, and I don't understand how people think that they can just dictate what other people do with their lives to make their lives more convenient.
That is not okay. Like how you gonna really come to me, ask me to move out because you just found out that you're 7 months pregnant.
Right.
Let's start at the seven
Yeah.
months. That is wild.
Yeah.
7 months.
Not only that, it sounds like to me you chose poorly because he ain't got nowhere to stay. Where he
Baby
staying?
daddy don't have nowhere to
He
stay.
got to move in with y'all. He probably the boy still living at home. That's why.
It's probably
That's why.
it's probably
That's why. That's why he need to come over
That's
here.
why he gotta come over here. That's why he coming over there to console his girlfriend's about you just need to leave.
Ruin our life.
You're ruining our life.
Gonna
Leave.
have me go somewhere. And
I
pay
need to
something.
be with my baby and my girl. I want to be with my baby and my
Miss,
girl.
you are not wrong at all. And I'd stand 10 toes down. I'd double down.
You're not an asshole for not wanting to move out of your apartment.
And I can tell her she can paint her room the nursery any color she want.
You can split that bitch down the middle for all I
Hey,
care. I don't really care.
put your bed on the right, the crib on the left.
Get an air mattress, something. I don't know. Get a day bed.
Figure it
I don't
out.
know. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Oh, people are wild, yo. Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he forgot me at the airport? Probably. Probably. Um
You lose a whole person.
I I've been in a long distance excuse me. I've been in a long distance relationship for about 5 months with Eric. That's a fake name. He
Okay.
lives in a town that either takes 12 hours to drive to, 7 hours by train, or an hour flight. Valentine's Day was coming up, so I bought a flight to go see him so we could spend the weekend together to celebrate.
Mm.
When I got up that morning, I started sending him snaps of me getting ready to go to the airport and about being excited to see him. When I got to the airport, I messaged him that I would see him in a bit, but there was no reply. This is when my gut feeling started telling me something was off, but I pushed it away, hoping that I was just overreacting. When I landed, I messaged him that I would see him soon, but still no reply. I was still hoping so hard. When the arrival doors opened, I was so hopeful that he was there, but in the end, I was heartbroken to see that he wasn't. I felt so undervalued and embarrassed because I started crying in the corner at the airport. I had only come to visit the city to see him, and I was staying with him, so what was I going to do? I called him over and over and over to no reply, then decided, fuck him. I'm going to go do my own thing.
Mm.
I ended up at a pub drinking tea, and after about an hour there, he messaged me, not even calling me, but he messaged me a damn message. His excuse was that he had fallen asleep
He was
and that he
tired.
was sorry. I honestly felt so betrayed because how can I not be worth setting a damn alarm? In the end, I ended up staying with him because I couldn't afford a hotel or to change my flight. And that's when I found out that he was staying up late at night playing video games. When I got home, I decided that I couldn't be with someone who undervalues me so much, and I broke up with him. At the time, he agreed, but now he's sending me love letters declaring his love to me and that he's sorry for everything and doesn't want to lose me. I feel like I'm overthinking things and just need some advice. Did I overreact to him not picking me up at the airport? Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he forgot me at the airport? Edit for clarify. We made these plans together 2 months before I left. He was well aware of when and where I would be arriving, and he was the one who offered to come get me. Secondly, oh no, he was the one who offered to come get me. Am I the asshole?
Players mess up too.
Absolutely not.
Players mess up.
Absolutely not.
I don't
Here,
think I don't think he was undervalued.
he was because let me
I
tell you
think
why.
let me
Hold
okay.
on,
Go
let me
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead, mom.
Two things that stick out for me
Okay.
as a woman, as a female.
Okay.
One, you were not as excited to see me as you
I was
claimed.
tired.
No. 2 months prior, so we have been talking
2 months is a long
2
time for a
months.
man.
Okay, but
He
it
done
it
forgot that
was no,
conversation.
but here's the thing, if you spoke about it 2 months prior, you didn't speak about it one time, and then the next time you spoke about it was the day she was leaving.
Okay.
Okay? So, he absolutely did undervalue her because I mean, however she saw it, if she felt undervalued, then that's the way she felt. But you weren't excited to see me as much as you claimed that you were.
Hold on.
And also, it makes me also feel that I'm not as much of a priority
Okay, there we go.
in your life.
There we go.
In your life. Because if I'm supposed to be your girl, I'm supposed to be your woman. For one, you should be excited to see me
Mm,
because we obviously don't live in the same city. So therefore, we don't see each other often. And if I'm just as excited to see you, I would expect that you would be excited to see me because I'm your girl.
okay.
I would expect that you would be excited to see me too for other reasons.
Okay.
Okay, Mister, I was sleep. Yeah, you were sleeping with somebody else, probably. Anywho, um, but not only that,
Uh,
I'm not a priority, and you just shown me that I'm not a priority. You've just shown me that I'm not as important to you as you have probably led me to believe in our relationship. Therefore, I need to nick it at the bud because if you're willing to showcase this type of behavior, dude, you left me at the airport. Not only did you leave me at the airport, you didn't respond to any of my messages the entire day
he
that I
was
have been
asleep.
texting you. So you've been asleep the whole time.
If he was up all night.
You went to sleep knowing that you had to pick me up at the airport, knowing that you stay up late because you play video games. And not one time did you say to yourself, you know what, let me go ahead and set an alarm because apparently he sleeps so hard
Mm,
that, he couldn't hear his phone ringing and dinging.
okay. Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Players mess up too.
Goodbye, Maurice.
Here's my thing. I will cut him bail. I'm being serious now. I will cut him bail if he makes his money that way. So, like, if he's a streamer or he makes video content, so he plays at certain times, stuff like that, I will cut him some slack, a little bit of slack.
I'm not cutting any slack.
Now, I do agree with you that he should at least had an alarm set.
Or his ass should have stayed
At,
up and played
at,
until it was time to go pick her up.
at least have an alarm set. However, I do think that it is a little bit of overreaction.
No,
I do feel like this could have been something that
they discussed.
discussed, had a conversation about,
Mhm,
because it wasn't like he ghosted you.
mhm.
It's just that he was not conscious to reply. So, because think about this. If the reason for him not answering had been something like he was in the hospital or an
Mhm,
accident or something like that,
mhm.
the time you would have been by yourself would have been the same amount of time, but you would have justified it because something happened, right? It's just, the time's
That's
the same.
not the same
What
thing,
happened?
no.
Listen, roll with me, roll with
I'm
me,
not I'm
roll with me,
trying.
because I'm
You
trying to,
always make it so difficult.
I'm trying to cut them bail. So the thing is
Let them
that
cook.
also, did she say how old they were?
28?
Oh, he old enough to know better. God damn. I'm trying to help him. I be trying to be on the dude's side. he
There's really
he was wrong. There's no way about
Okay.
that. Okay,
I love how you just gave up.
He was
Okay, he was wrong.
he was
He
wrong.
was wrong.
He should at least set an alarm.
Okay, if he was younger, would you still say the same
Yeah,
thing?
because they don't.
It's just responsible, right?
Yeah, he might just be irresponsible.
But and who's to say that this isn't the first time something like this has happened?
It is the first time. Because if it's the second time, this post is not necessary because he's already shown you. But obviously, you're considering going back to him. I mean, give him another shot. Players mess up.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know if you could.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, me personally, I feel like I would if I was 28, knowing how I was in my
Oh, you
20s,
wouldn't even call him.
I did.
You would have got.
I was gonna say, I would
You would have got.
cut throat,
You
like
would have got
cut
right. You would have got
throat,
right back on the plane.
cut throat.
You would have got
I
back on
wouldn't
the
have
plane.
had the money to go back home, but I would have found it somewhere
You
to
would have
go
got
back home.
you would have sold your ticket and got back on the
Yeah,
plane.
I would have been like knowing me and because I know how I was in my 20s. Like
Yo,
I
how you are
know
in your 30s?
well that too, but in my 20s, like I mean, because we've overcome some hurdles. I would
No, that's saying. Don't say we've overcome.
what?
You stuck by me.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but you've been by me too, but you've never made me feel like I wasn't a priority.
Oh, you wasn't.
You've never really? Really?
When I was in my deep depression, you wasn't because
Well,
of,
that was different. That was a caveat. That was different.
you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
you were
you
going
are now.
through you were going through a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Like it was very visible to see that mentally you were not
I
straight.
mean, now you are
That's
my.
different.
Now you are the most important.
But something like this where it's just like
But
his
even yeah,
faculties are
you're
there,
right.
but he's
Okay,
been playing video games because he's been up all
I
night.
can't look
I'm
here.
going to have to say pass.
I can't even cut him Bill because even when I was in my rough spot, I never left you nowhere.
Correct. But that's what I'm saying. Like you never made me feel like you didn't give a shit about me. That
Even
would literally make me feel like you don't give a shit about me. Like, dude, we've been talking about this for 2 months and we've been
even
talking on the phone almost every day.
even when
And you
you
forget me.
even when you missed the last train,
So
and we
at
had
school,
and we had to figure out how to get you home, and I had to drive
it
halfway to
was
get
so
you.
traumatizing. I never felt so dumb because I was like, how am I stranded in Los Angeles? I legit live 2 hours away and I'm sitting here stranded in the city I was born in and I don't know which way to go to get home. That was traumatizing. Okay?
Yeah, I
Traumatizing.
can't even cut him Bill, man. You wrong player.
Yeah, either way it goes, you're wrong.
But
I would say
Miss, if your heart says give him a chance, give him a chance. Follow. I mean, you're young enough to follow the heart.
but don't forget his actions speak louder than his words.
I mean,
His love is in his actions, not in his words. So,
like my,
and if you plan on having children, think about pick up and drop
like
off.
the great um theologist
You finna say something silly.
Dark Man X says, trust everybody to be
Who they are.
who they show you they
Who
are.
they show you they are. Right. And he's shown you in his actions. So and here's the
But he
thing.
could mature.
No, but here's the thing, and that's not to say that he's a bad dude.
Oh no, not at
That's
all.
not to say he's probably a very great dude, and he probably
He's
does
probably
do
like
that
top
for a
100
living.
on Call of Duty.
That's probably his job. That's
Mhm.
perfectly fine. But again, even if that is your job, I
Responsibility.
still want to be made of importance in your life.
You want to feel like you
I
matter.
still want to like I matter. Like yes, making your money matters, of course, because I want you to make your money. Do what you do. We're assuming that's if he does that for a living. But even if he doesn't do that for a living and that's just a really good hobby that he has,
Mhm.
baby, do your hobby. That's fine.
Baby.
Baby, I have no complaints with you playing video games. If you stay up to 3 a.m. playing video games, bravo, do
Oh,
you.
okay.
But if you knew you had to be at the airport at noon
I'm gonna
to
make it.
pick me up
I still make it.
and you didn't, and your excuse is because you were asleep, and then I get here and to see that you stay up till 3 a.m. playing video games, and that's why you forgot me,
Here's the thing.
and you didn't set an alarm,
You messed up, man.
it's gonna be a pass.
You should have went by urgent care before you picked her up.
Don't start that. To get a wristband, the wristband has a timestamp on it. The wristband has a timestamp on it. It has a timestamp. I'm not sure, like,
I'm done. Cut the chain.
Wait, wait, cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. So silly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but boo. I mean, in my personal opinion, I would say put a
Oh,
fork in that. It's done.
oh,
Put a
man.
fork in that, boo. It's done.
Oh,
That would be a no for me because your actions are the only thing that I see and
oh,
hear.
man.
That's it. I hear your actions. I only see and
Oh.
hear your actions. Is that the one that took you out, babe?
I took myself
Oh, you
out.
took yourself out.
Cut the tape.
I can't. This has been another episode of Life After I Do. If you are not
Do-do-do-do-do.
doing so already, you guys know the drill. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Life After I Do Podcast. You can also write into the podcast at Life After I Do Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, you
You can
heard?
also send us a text message wherever you listen to podcasts. Send us a text message directly. If you guys have any questions for us, if there's any reactions that you would like our reaction to,
Oh, you got your
any
own
advice or
questions. Yeah,
anything,
we got you.
you guys just hit us up at lifeafterido podcast at gmail.com or shoot us a text on the platform that you're listening to. You get a new episode every Wednesday. But until then,
Peace, Booskies.
peace.